All right, welcome to another episode of Exploring Blue Sky, and today we're here with Joe Petty in Ashcroft, British Columbia, where we're going to be learning about your studio and painting. So tell us how we're going to get started today.
Well, I have started using a new medium. It's called cold wax medium, and I'm using dry pigments and walnut oil to mix the color. The first thing that I do, I have to work on wood, so I buy my panels like this. They're plain colored, and then I add.
So not canvas.
No, not canvas.
Okay.
Yeah, because the cold wax medium, it would crack.
Oh.
There's a possibility it could crack, so it's not going to crack on wood. Plus, the way that I work, the way I bang it on and stuff, the colors, it has to be a solid, yeah.
Okay.
And then I add 4 coats of gesso. I'm using black right now. You can get white, but the black, the color seems to just be so much more intense for some reason, so that's what I'm using. Okay. And if we go over
you
here...
You paint that, by the way?
Sorry?
So you paint this black, so you get the wood, then you paint it black?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it needs 4 coats. So sometimes the longest process is painting the panels, getting those prepared for my painting practice. Dry pigments, and they're non-toxic, which is wonderful. You go back to the caveman days and before that, and this is the color that they used.
Really?
Yes, and it has lasted that long. They used lots of ochres and reds and stuff like that. Those are the colors we use when we see pictographs, right? Mm-hmm. This is where they came from. These are all from the earth. They're
very earthy tone.
It's a wonderful color. I use a walnut oil, because walnut oil is the medium that was used until about the 17th century, and then
Almond oil?
Walnut oil.
Walnut oil.
Walnut oil, and it doesn't yellow. And it is also, like, I use it on my hands to clean my hands. This is also non-toxic walnut oil. It's, yeah.
Painting environmentally friendly, I'm assuming, as well, and also non-toxic.
And also
that's the best way to paint.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. And so I buy as I told you, I buy the pigment like that. And here.
Touch it.
You want me to touch it?
I want to touch it.
Okay.
It's just so pretty.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's so pretty. So what is this exactly?
Well, it's
almost like a...
this has got a really great story. This is called ultramarine blue. It's a French ultramarine blue. And some chemists were in France, and they were fooling around in their laboratory, and they were heating something. They overheated it, and it kind of blew up in their test tubes, and they made this blue, which was good because the blue used to come from Afghanistan. It was called lapis lazuli, but we can't get that so much anymore. It's really expensive. So these guys, lucky for us, the artists, found this color by blowing something up in their test tubes.
I love it. And it's one of my favorite colors.
It's just the sky. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I'm really thankful for that because I can get tons of it and it's really cheap. Awesome. Then I painted with this, with the oil, without the wax. I painted like that for about 6 months. And then I went to a show in Vancouver, and I saw this surface on a guy's paintings, and I went over to it knowing better. I didn't touch it, but it was all I could do not to because it just looked so exciting. And I found out that he's using the cold wax medium, which is beeswax with a bit of Daymar varnish in powder form. And I just keep pulling it into here, adding more wax, and adding some of the walnut oil. There we go. Until it gets to about this consistency. If it's not thick enough, if it's too thick, I just add a little bit more of the oil. When I first started doing this, I would mix up about that much at a time, and now this is what I do when I come in the morning to get ready for my painting process for the day. There's still a difference between that one and this one.
This one?
Yeah, this is really soft. That's how I'm going to have it for painting.
Ooh, it's all mushy.
It's like butter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still have to add some more stuff to it because it drags, right?
Yeah.
And I want it to be super smooth.
How long will this last? Will it dry out?
No. Well, I put it in little jars. See, this is my...
Is there a technique to whipping it? Like you whip?
You can do whatever.
Yeah, okay.
If you need to bang it out,
really?
You can do that, yeah.
I don't know why I need to do art more. I always say, I need to do art, and I need to, for like a stress relief kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I never do, but when I'm actually doing it, I'm like, oh, I love this.
yeah. Well, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And I think this
like
takes us. This is like in our DNA. The color, it's the colors we're used to seeing outside, and doing this is like getting ready to cook, which we're so used to doing, mixing things up, getting them ready. So I think it's just a full body experience.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it. Months and months.
Oh,
This is the ultramarine
Are these
blue.
special jars?
No, these are yogurt jars with lids. I know it's my friend.
Oh.
My friend gets his jars, and these come. He lives in Vancouver, and he gets me the jars, and then the lids. I can't remember the kind of yogurt, and it's glass, so it's good. And then he gets the lids from Superstore or somewhere. Like, go figure, and they're perfect.
They're perfect.
That amount of paint that I am gonna finish mixing up will fit into one of these jars. It's really cool.
They almost look like baby jars, baby food jars.
Baby food. Oh, that would be another good thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Except most people make their own baby food, right? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Another thing that I use sometimes, but not all the time, but is an oil bar, which is it's just oil paint in. It's been solid. It's solid in here, so it's like a crayon.
Yeah.
Just make a few
It's
marks.
almost like just whatever.
Yeah, and you know what? Instead of holding it like a pencil, hold it like this, and you get your artist. You wake your artist up. So, yeah. That's
Okay.
no, that's exactly what I do. So I don't always do it, but I just make marks wherever, whatever feels like I want to do it. I'll go some squiggles like you did. That's cool. And then maybe I'll make. This is actually one of my favorite tools, like an old credit card or something.
Yeah.
But I'll use a palette knife and I'll pull it on. I'll pull and you can see some places it gets lighter.
So you follow the
No, I just this is just building up color, and I might decide that I'm going to have green in this.
Oh,
so
you don't care about mixing.
No.
Oh, so you don't use separate brushes?
Oh no, I don't use brushes at all.
Oh my goodness.
This is what I use this. I use this to scrape the paint. Yeah. I'm going to put some white on that's not the oil bar. Okay.
Sometimes when I paint, like it has to be in the line.
Yeah.
I can't mix my paint. So then I'm like, but this I'm like, wow,
no,
you can.
It's exciting.
So
you just do whatever you feel.
I'm like, what do I do? Tell me the steps.
This is the steps.
Oh.
Yeah. See, you can
whatever.
Look isn't that beautiful? Look at the mark you just made. The way it picked up across the.
This is like a life lesson, Joe Petty.
Oh, great.
Learn to let go sometimes.
Yeah, this is exactly what this is about. And sometimes, and one of the tricks to this too is not to fall in love with an area. So right away, especially at this stage, I mean, right now I said, isn't that beautiful? Well, it probably won't stay. I'm sorry. Your work is not going to be part of this painting. But it's just, this part is just about laying down color and making marks and just keep going with that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they take a whole day. It's hard. You can't predict what's going to happen, how long it's going to take.
When does art go from being a mess to it being art?
With this?
Yeah.
That's a really awesome question. I paint like this, laying down, and then then all of a sudden, about halfway through maybe, I don't know, I'll put it up on the easel and I'll finish it on the easels because then you can see it a lot better than lying down flat. And it's finished when I step back and I look at the easel, and I go, oh, it's done. And then with these, because they're so much fun to do, and they're very deep, very intuitive, so you go to a deep place within yourself. I wouldn't be talking really and doing this. I couldn't do that because of the depth that you go. And so with these paintings, I'll put them up, I'll paint this way, and if it starts to look like images start to show up, I'll switch it around. Because at this point in my career with this stuff, I don't want to see an image so much. I want them to be about blocks of color and lights and darks and the different tones.
Yeah.
It's noisy. You can see it's noisy, right? But that's why it's on wood too. Then I can bang the heck out of it.
I need to do that.
Yeah, try it. Bang the heck. I love it. Hey, I like that. Those are good marks. And then you,
Alright.
you can take that and you can
Oh.
pull it, just pull it like this. and just cut- Are you sad that I keep going over the work you're doing?
No, I'm like, that's relaxing. You get your anger out and then you relax.
We'll have to call
This
this.
is very therapeutic.
Oh, it is. See, you could get all kinds of patterning and things like that happening.
So do you have to let this dry before, like if this is this your base and then you'll keep adding more
I just
colors?
keep adding, yeah.
Even if it's wet?
Yeah, oh yeah, wet
Oh,
on wet.
okay.
So because if it isn't wet on wet, then I can't do these beautiful scrapes and get these kinds of lines.
I'm gonna try touching it. So it's like a wax?
It's kind of waxy. It's more, I would say more like butter. Like
it's
butter.
it is like a smoothie butter
Yeah,
being.
Yeah.
It's not like regular paint.
not at all.
It doesn't drop or drip or what are we doing here?
We're going to clean your hands
Oh.
off. And you can see how the oil, just put it on your fingers,
Okay.
okay, and just clean your hand off. And I'll give you another one of these.
Okay.
Paper
oh yeah.
towels.
Oh my goodness.
There it is, gone.
Even better.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, and then you get rid of the mess right away.
And your
Don't have
hands
it.
are going to end up soft, which is really nice too.
Have me sold.
I used to have to use turpentine. The turpentines. I had to use that to get the oil off my hands. Now I just use my walnut oil.
That's amazing.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. I'll go across these lines. And you just leave behind a trail and oh, I want to go that way. I want to go that way. I don't have a plan. I can't see something in my head. I go with the flow of what's happening here. And that's what I do. I build up layers and layers and layers. Sometimes I put the paint just on a palette knife like this. And then to do that, I would pull it across like this. And it makes a lovely noise. Well, and at some point, sometimes I get, it's like I come back into my head and I'll go, oh no, it's not working. Oh no, I've wrecked it. And so I have to get back into that creative flow, get rid of that. And one of the ways what I'll do sometimes, if I think, oh my gosh, this is not working at all, I'll just go like this and I'll pull it all off.
Oh.
See, I've got all the paint on there.
Try
Yeah.
new. Can I go this way
You
or does
can,
it?
whatever feels,
See
it's
that?
intuitive, so.
I'm trying to get. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that. I like how that's a little bit darker too.
And how it feels too, right?
Love that.
Yeah. Well, all my information that I've learned in the last 40 years of my painting career, I need and I use in this. This is starting to look like something, so I turn it.
You see that? See, I see the grass, and I'm like, oh, it looks like a pond. And
Yeah, I
there's
see a
now
pond
you're
in
like,
there
Get
too.
rid of it.
Yeah, so, okay, I don't want that to happen, so we'll go this way and pull some of this into here. Maybe I'll leave a little bit. I like this, I kind of like this muted color. See this against this
Yeah.
has it, well, you have the opposite, sort of you have the intense color shines up really well because of the grays, the beautiful bluey grays that we've made. So you take a little bit of that and pull it over top and use that.
Yeah, I like gold specks on painting.
I have that too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can get it. It's
Yeah.
it's mica, and yeah, you can just at any point you want just put a few speckles into there.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
like
done that for a long time,
Might be a piece.
but
that
I
you
might. This might end up with that.
do. Sparkles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So that's the process. This is
All
what I
right.
do.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks so much for sharing with us today.
Oh, thanks for helping me with the painting.
You're welcome.